Hi everyone, it's Nisha. So today I thought I'd do another bedroom chat because I wanted to update you on my been 1 year on HRT. So this might be a bit long video, so if you have no time, just leave it till you have time, make yourself a cup of tea and let's chat. First of all, I wanted to say I'm not a doctor, I'm not a gynecologist, I'm not a hormone specialist. I'm not telling you that you should do what I'm doing. I just want to share my story with you. I feel that menopause seems to be dirty, taboo word. A lot of women are embarrassed to say they're going through menopause. I think that it should be celebrated. We entering new chapter of our life. I almost feel like this is going back to my teenage years because we've gone through something very similar while we were becoming teenagers with the hormones, periods and all that. Then we entered another period of adulthood when we are busy with careers, children and our homes. And then there is that third phase in our life which we should be celebrating. I know it can be a bit troublesome and not very pleasant, but there is so much to look forward to. Most of people my age have grown up children. You don't have to worry about that. You are settled down in your home, hopefully with your loved one, and you can start enjoying yourself again. So first of all, I always get asked, I remember when I would tell my friends or whoever that I'm on HRT, people would say, but you are far too young to be in menopause. You still have your periods, right? And I say yes, but I think we mistaken menopause for perimenopause. You are in menopause when you've had your last period at least 1 year prior. That's when you're in menopause. Before that, before you lose that period, you are in perimenopause, and that can last for up to 10 years. Usually starts at around the age of 45. Now, everybody is different. They say that even doesn't matter that much how your mother went through menopause. There might be some similarities, but not necessarily. And a lot of us will go through it, you know, breeze through it. Some of us will have some problems and some of us really suffer. So everybody is different, and I tell you my story. So the symptoms are so minor at first and slowly progressing that you might not even think that is anything to do with your perimenopause. I realized that that's what I'm going through when I started watching the Menopause Barbie, Dr. Barbara Taylor. She's written lots of books. She's a gynecologist. She gives talks around the world. So don't think that I've just got this information from searching Google. I've seen 2 gynecologists and I do watch a lot of talks, gynecologist talks about it. So they obviously know what they are talking about. Because I know that there is so many people there with their own opinions, and I don't really want to hear it, you know, that I should be doing this or doing that, because like Barbie said, her channel says your menopause, your way. It is so individual, it is so different that only you, with obviously supervision of your doctor, can choose how you're going to deal with it. You don't have to go on HRT, you can do it naturally, treated with natural remedies. They talk about bioidentical hormones, which this is a bit controversial. Not controversial in the sense that bioidentical hormones are not good for you, but the controversy is they're bioidentical. They are not bioidentical as you would think, because that would mean that they would have to kill lots of women and steal their ovaries and take the estrogen from them for them to be bioidentical. So what they mean by bioidentical, I understand, is that the estrogen that they give you has exactly the same structure as the one that we have in our body, but the estrogen that is being prescribed to me and to a lot of people is exactly the same, and they call it bioidentical, which means that it's exactly the same as the one that we have in our bodies, but they all must be synthetically made, because otherwise, like I said, they would have to steal it from young women's ovaries. Okay, so what happens in perimenopause? Let me first of all tell you that my period's been always pretty regular, you know, maybe 2-3 days one way or the other, and they are still like it now, apart from being much heavier, and that's one of the signs. But what happened when I was about it must have started when I was 45. I am 47 right now. Well, I will be 48 this year, but at the end of the year, so I'm still 47. So I would say, yeah, when I was about 45, I'm sure things started to happen. And what happens, that our hormones, our body stops producing the right amount of estrogen, progesterone and testosterone, and also the balance between all these three hormones is very important. But also in perimenopause, your estrogen levels throughout the cycle go up and down, it's ridiculous. So even though I had a blood test for it, they say you can never ever get really accurate reading from that, because you would have to have that blood test done, you know, a few times a month for a few months. That's how up and down the hormones are. So what started happening to me was the night sweats, and I never ever heard of night sweats. I've heard of hot flashes, which are totally different, but I've never heard of night sweats. I didn't even know that that's what they were called. I just noticed that at a certain time of the month, I would be absolutely soaked at night. And if you've been going through it, it's horrible. It's like a river running down here, and then because you've sweated so much and you get cold and you shiver and you wake up, so you get disturbed sleep. So that was first thing, I think. Then I started having problem with sleeping. So I would have 2 or 3 nights a month that I would not sleep at all. I just did not feel tired. I would go to bed, try my hardest. In the end, I would get up and just sit downstairs, watch TV, eat, drink, just like it was a daytime. And then I would go on all day, and then get tired about 8 o'clock in the evening the next day. Another thing was, which I didn't notice, you know, I am not one of your laid back, calm people. I am quite highly strung. I have a temper. I'm passionate. I'm stubborn. So I never thought that that was something out of ordinary, but my husband started saying to me that I am like wound up spring, you know, ready to explode constantly, that I'm like constantly stressed and explosive. And I didn't think that was, because like I said, these things happen so slowly and gradually that you sort of get used to them maybe, and you don't associate it with, and you think, well, I'm far too young to be going through menopause, but no one thinks about the time leading up to menopause, the perimenopause. That's when all these hormonal changes are happening, and things are going crazy. Another thing that I've noticed was being very sad, depressed. And you hear a lot of women my age and older, they suddenly start feeling depressed, go to the doctor, and they get antidepressants, because that is another sign of low estrogen. Estrogen impacts in so many things in your body, and I will talk about it in a minute. But you know, I was thinking, I am already on antidepressants. I've been on antidepressants for years, so that's why I couldn't understand why I was feeling so low even though I was on antidepressants. So these were like the main, and I think that's what really made me go to the doctor, the feeling sad and depressed, because I was worried. I thought, you know, and another thing, I was getting like palpitations, almost like anxiety, and that's another sign. So these were like the first signs. Of course, then other signs are loss of libido, vaginal dryness, loss of hair. My hair, I don't know if you maybe look back a couple of years ago or maybe even a year ago, I was really complaining about my hair was very thin, lifeless, and that's when I started buying wigs and got into wigs. Apart from that, you know, they are very convenient and they are my fashion accessories. I still wear them now and again. So these were other things. So I went to my GP, and my GP was much younger than me, so she has no clue. I think she was actually pregnant at the time. And I told her about a few of my symptoms, and all she said was, well, how old are you? Yeah, well, that's the age, you know, it's gonna start happening. And that was it. The problem here in UK, especially in the UK, is that GPs, I feel, not all GPs, let me just put that out there, not all GPs, because I've heard from a lot of people that had wonderful GPs that dealt with it and all that. I think they almost feel it's like that's why I think we need to talk about it, because there are so many women suffering unnecessarily with all these symptoms, and the quality of life is so low because of that. And because we don't talk about it, almost we are not being taken seriously. And because it is not life-threatening disease, well, it's not a disease at all, but it's not life-threatening, GPs are not so quick to prescribe you something and treat you for it. So let me talk to you about estrogen first. So estrogen has an impact on your brain. It regulates the temperature in your body. So that's where the hot sweats, the night sweats and hot flushes would come from. Also enhances the brain's feel-good factor in your brain, the chemicals. So that's how you would explain the low mood. It's got impact on your skin, improves the thickness and quality of your skin. It moisturizes everything, makes everything plump and moist. That's why you can that's why we start aging as well. Of course, photoaging is the main problem, but you know, our skin might get drier, the vaginal dryness, the weaker nails, everything gets weaker because there is no moisture. The moisture is being sucked out of us. It has impact on our bones, improves our bone strength and prevents bone loss. That's why when you're on HRT, they say you will prevent osteoporosis. And estrogen also protects your heart and your vascular system. So they say that when you're on HRT, you improve your heart health a lot as a woman. There are also, you have to remember that if you're going to go on HRT, you should go on it sooner rather than later, because I'm sure when you're over 60, they don't want to prescribe you HRT, but you might still be suffering from the menopausal symptoms. My gynecologist told me that I should stay on it for the rest of my life. There is no reason I shouldn't. I will feel younger, happier, protect my heart, and my bones. So I've told you I went to my GP, she did nothing about it. So I've decided to take it into my own hands, and I went to a Guildford clinic, hormone clinic. Privately I had to pay for it because insurance won't cover that. They will cover if there is something wrong with your womb, you need hysterectomy, or if you need a scan, your womb scan, then they will cover that, but not just going and talking about hormones. And if you've seen my video, and it has been almost exactly 1 year when I went to the clinic, and when I came back I was so happy. When I went there, I had an hour with this woman and I wanted to cry, because for the first time I felt listened to. I wasn't a hypochondriac, I wasn't, you know, telling stories, I was miserable. And she listened and she understood and she explained why I'm feeling like this. So I had all the blood tests done and I was low on estrogen, progesterone and testosterone. So she then prescribed me cocktail, which was very, very difficult because it's so much to remember. So I have estrogen patches, which I stick on my bum twice a week. So I have to remember I do it on Tuesdays and Saturdays. I also have estrogen pessaries that you put vaginally, and that's low dose of estrogen for the vaginal dryness basically. So like I said, everything is getting sucked out from you, and this is important also for any type of infections, because I think it's the cervix produces this mucus that lubricates the vagina and also protects it from infections. So a lot of women might notice that at that time when they're going through all that, they get maybe more infections. So I got that. Then I got progesterone. Progesterone is there purely to protect your womb, because progesterone is responsible for your periods and pregnancies and all that. If I did not have a womb, if I had hysterectomy for example, then I wouldn't need progesterone. And then I got testosterone gel, which she said it would help me with sleeping, it will help me with my libido, and I rub that in my thigh or somewhere twice a week as well. And all this was so complicated. I must say that it is pain in the arse, because you have to remember the patches. So twice a week I have to put on Tuesday evening a patch on, and then Saturday morning, and on those same days pessaries. Then on a 16th day of my cycle I have to start taking the progesterone tablets, and I take one a day for 10 days. So I have to write it down, like I write it in my calendar when I have to start, when I have to finish. And then when I stop after 10 days, 2 days later I get my period. These are not contraceptions, so you know, because I still have my monthly periods, I could easily get pregnant. Can you imagine? But yeah, so that's what I am on. So I would say that for the first couple of months it was very, very difficult, because remembering all this, now I'm fine, you know, I've been on it for a year. Another thing is with testosterone, you will get hairy thigh. So you won't get like facial hair, because the dose that you take in is not the same dose the man would take. So you're not going to start growing beard and a mustache. I do just 1 pump twice a week. If I did 3 pumps every day, maybe I would start growing facial hair. But yes, my thighs get a bit hairy, but that's okay, I just wax it. I don't have my thighs out very often. So that's the side effect. So let me now tell you how I am feeling now. The first thing I've noticed when I started taking estrogen, and it happened after about 2 or 3 days, the calmness that came over me. I cannot describe it. Just serenity and calmness. I felt so calm and at peace. I wasn't always, you know, like this. The other symptoms were lessening with time. So remember, sometimes you can't eradicate all the symptoms, but you really minimize them. So now and again I will still have a night sweat, not as bad as I had before, but now and again it will happen to me. My hair, I cannot tell you how much better my hair feels. I'm not doing anything different. I still wash it, style it. My hair is fine. It's never going to be thick. Obviously, you know, I style it, so I give myself that much body, but it feels thicker, it feels healthier. It's just better. I stopped feeling depressed. I mean, I'm still on my antidepressants, and they keep me from my actual depression, you know, but the depression that I was having as a symptom of low estrogen, that's gone. I don't anymore have sleepless nights. I might have one in few months, but that might be because I'm not a person also that needs a lot of sleep. I like to stay up late and I don't lie in. I don't seem to be a person that needs a lot of sleep. I hardly ever nap in a day. The only time I nap in a day now is if I've been to the gym and I've done really hard workout. I feel so exhausted that I sometimes will have a quick nap. But other than that, I don't really nap in a day. Oh yeah, my nails. I prefer them short and I cut them, but do you remember in one of my vlogs not long ago I was showing you how long my nails were, and I just wanted to see how long they will grow before they break, and they wouldn't break. They were strong as anything. And no more vaginal dryness. My libido, I'm not that good with putting the testosterone on. What else? Now I get headaches. I still get headaches because headaches are another symptom, like tension headaches, but that is also due. One reason it might be when you get the night sweats, because you are dehydrated. You sweat so much, you dehydrate, and you sometimes wake up with a headache. Another thing is increased level of the stress hormone, the cortisol, and that will bring me to the next almost like a side effect of, and I'm not sure if it's a side effect of HRT or just a symptom of perimenopause, menopause. I feel I've put weight on, not loads, but I've put a bit of weight on, and it's very hard to lose it since I've been on HRT. But that might be due to the higher levels of cortisol, which is the stress hormone, and that's when we get big round the waist, we lose our waist. And I'm not going to explain to you what really happens. I will link you few videos down below. I will link you Barbie's channel, because thanks to her I took care of this. If I didn't watch her, I probably wouldn't have gone to the gynecologist. And she starts from lesson 1 to 101, and she explains it all, and she doesn't persuade you which way to go. She gives you options that you can go the HRT route, the natural route. She says it's your menopause, it's your body, and you deal with it how you want. She just explains how different methods work, and you can make your decision that way. So I will link you her channel. And also I've been just watching, I can't remember her name, on a Vogel channel, but there was a video about menopause and the weight gain, and she explains everything about cortisol. Also, another important thing that you need to start taking now today is magnesium citrate. Magnesium is a mineral that is so underrated, and it plays such important role in every chemical reaction in our body, and you need to take that. It will stop your carbohydrate cravings, it will relax you. So I will leave you because I don't want to give you the wrong information. Like I said, I'm not a doctor. This is just my experience, what I'm doing and what I've learned from watching different professional channels, not just anybody, but you know, gynecologists, and seeing two gynecologists myself. So I will link you the video about magnesium as well, why you need it. You can watch that. Now, there has been a lot of obviously scary stories a while ago about HRT being connected to cancer, especially breast cancer. And yes, if you have a history in your family of breast cancer, they probably won't prescribe it to you. But that is simply, I think, because those cancers feed on hormones. So if you add the hormones to your body, the cancer will feed on them. I don't feel, and that's just my opinion, that HRT gives you cancer, especially that now the estrogen that they used to use was a bit different, but the estrogen, which is estradiol, that they use now is bioidentical. So it's basically the same type of estrogen that our body produces. So I'm not going to make false claims that it's not going to cause cancer. This is not for me to say, but that's what I believe. I believe if you have a history, yes, don't take it. I will be careful, because that's what the cancer feeds on, hormones. So if you pump in your body with extra hormones, you know. But for me, that was never, I never even thought about it. I don't have any cancer history in my family. Well, I do, but I'm talking about women really old, you know, in their 90s. So, and one of my uncles in his 90s had cancer as well. So, but no breast cancer, no other cancers. So that wasn't a worry for me. I just was so miserable that I had to do something about it. I want to have quality of life. Like I said, we're entering this third phase of our life where we can start enjoying ourselves again. The kids are grown up, we can do what we want, you know, we've done our job and we can enjoy ourselves. But there is so many women out there that are so miserable and suffering that they don't have any quality of life, really. So what I am saying is that I'm really glad that I did this, and I'm going to carry on being on my HRT. I will have to be going every few years for a checkup and a blood test, because obviously my hormone level as I'm getting older will be changing, so they will have to be adjusted. So I think I'm going to stay on it for the rest of my life. It's gonna protect me from osteoporosis, it's gonna make my heart healthier, and it's going to make me feel happy, and hopefully I won't lose my hair. So this was my 1 year update on HRT. Like I said, see your doctor if you feel you've got any of those symptoms. If you can cope with them, that's absolutely fine, but if they are making you miserable and you think your life could be better, talk to your doctor. They put you at first on very low dose of the hormones, so but they do really help. There is a lot of natural remedies that you can also take. Some women don't respond well to HRT. They don't feel well on it, you know, so they might have to go different route, especially women that have history of cancer in their families. They might have to go the natural route. And also, if you really want to go and have those bioidentical hormones done, it's absolutely fine. This works as well. The only thing is they are not really regulated. They are compounded in a lab. They are not regulated, but I'm not slugging it off. I'm not saying it's bad. It's very, very expensive, that's for sure. So if that's something you want to look at and you can afford it, then go for it. Whatever makes you better. But yes, let's celebrate it, girls. Menopause, perimenopause. You know, we live for so long now that we want to have a good quality of life, and that's all I want. I just want to stay as healthy and well as possible. That's why I've started exercising, because my biggest fear is to be old, okay, in my brain, but be overweight and not being able to move. You know, that absolutely frightens me. I want to enjoy my life. However much I've got left of it, I don't want to sit here miserable, sweating, having headaches, and walking around wanting to stab everyone, you know. Okay, so I think that's all I wanted to tell you. I hope I didn't forget anything. I should have written things down. But I think I've told you everything. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Also, remember, I will leave you links to those videos that I've watched and I think are interesting. And let me know if you have a story, HRT story, menopause story, whatever, because I know some women go through it like that, don't even know it. My mum didn't go through any of it, hot flashes, anything, but my mum had hysterectomy when she was 49, I think. But that would put her straight into menopause. But she said she had maybe a few hot flashes and that was it. She never ever had any of these symptoms then that I had. So it just shows. Okay, my lovelies, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching and stay fabulous. Bye.